I was, caffeinated, sexed, energy flowing, God key, trying to take a nap. Got to drive tonight. And I think I may have put the last few pieces of the puzzle together. Since about probably 2004 or 5, back when I only had Xanga as my online presence, I had a consistent lurker. Once I was able to use their footprints feature and insist on membership to view private posts or friends only, this person gained a username just for the specific purpose of continuing to monitor my activity. At least as far as what Xanga Footprints was able to determine. Now, granted, I understand how proxy servers work. I've known about this long before the VPNs came out. And so, for all I know, this was a proxy server location. But the first identifiable footprint of this lurker was from the University of Illinois at Chicago. Several years after that, I transitioned to a forum site, and in using that site as well as Xanga, I encountered a lot of other interesting people. A few of the interesting people that I encountered worked for Stanford University at that other site, as well as a couple of people that I believe had some military intelligence experience, and I want to say somewhere between 3, 4, or 5 of them are currently active in YouTube and or other online communities, and I believe they are participating in the LARP. If they aren't in the LARP, they're part of the snake oil, or they are part of the wire fraud scam. It's become evident to me that this may actually be the same person as someone else that I interacted with on the forum site that was also the Xanga lurker that is also active on YouTube now. I'm fairly confident of this. So when I speak on the co-opting of the context of my life, what I am referring to is the persistent and continued use of what would otherwise be subjective terms that I basically coined during my ascension process. I did not amass a great following during this time. I did not have anybody really that stuck with on that level. There was a couple of people that I believe were more in a handler position than in actual friend positions. One of them I'm still friends with on Facebook, but she hasn't really done much for a while, and I don't really know the full extent, nature, or the motivation behind it. I really don't yet. I'm only seeing that there are pieces, and I'm seeing that my life is being harmed by this interaction. It's not a direct harm. It's not anything to do with physically hurting me, but it definitely messes with my head. And I don't know. After the realization that I had today, I don't think there's going to be any issue with reaching out to the psychokinesis. All the worst things are going to happen to this person, I believe. I firmly believe this. And as far as the PK goes, that's one of the most important things, is believing. That which I believe becomes. And I believe that this person who has been masquerading, pretending to be friendly to me, has in fact been stealing content from me for years. Little subtle things, but like I said, when QAnon first came out, it was speaking my language, and like I said, a lot of subjective terms that I have coined over the years, terms that in a few places I found other people using independently, but mostly they were not. The public availability of the writing that I did was and as well as the nature of, like I said, there was some people that were working for some college psych departments in research, as well as military intelligence people. I make no great claim to fame. I can't prove anything about myself as far as ability goes like that. I can only list off the things that I have witnessed. So anyways, this person whom I used to refer to as Melvin, regardless of how friendly they may seem, that they may seem to care, that this person has been lurking on my social media for almost 15 years. Quietly always there, sometimes stepping forward, occasionally changing names to someone else. I catch on, I block, they come around, they find other ways in. And, I've been mocked before for supposedly not being aware of the fact that I was conversing with artificial intelligence. I actually am fully aware when I'm conversing with artificial intelligence. It's just that artificial intelligence oftentimes comes up with some better conversation than people do. So, especially when you know that there are people that are lurking on your platforms and social media outlets for over a decade for some nefarious purpose. I know that sounds paranoid. Believe me, I know that sounds paranoid, but I'm going to tell you that I used to get 3 to 5 daily footprints at a minimum, daily, for over 5 years on the same Xanga account. And any time that I attempted to interact with this person, send them messages, leave them comments, anything whatsoever, they did not answer. I've never received a response back. The only way that a person I interacted with on the second site, the forum, could have known the things that they knew was either that they had extensively read my previous online exploits. It becomes exploitation when they use it against you. The only other explanation for that person's insight would have been a really strong psychic ability. And while I can kind of get behind that, I don't think that's all of it. I think it was supplemented. So, that covers an era of about 6 or 7 years there. I was basically not online for a while, vanished almost completely. Eventually came back to Facebook, and I have really not encountered this person until probably the last year. The person that I am fairly confident is the same one now. Was becoming prominent about 2 years ago online, involved in the YouTube content creator wars that spawned hoax wars that basically schismed the online truth community initially. That whole part where they were arguing about who shit talked to instead of talking about the corruption of the political arena, basically doing a greater disservice than if they had aided the enemy. This person was involved with that. This person has been involved with a number of other online exploits. The last I knew was actually cited with QAnon. Although other online interactions with what are supposed to be other people might make me think otherwise, but really I think what it is it's a matter of keeping a handle on the person who is fully capable of debunking the entirety. I know I'm not the only one, so there might be other people that have also been similarly followed. And I know that this doesn't directly tie in with anything empirical to the beginning part, but it's just a very, very, very solid hunch that I now have. My ability to remote view is extremely limited. However, in the brief circumstances when it does work, I find that it works a lot better to just gain knowledge rather than try and look or hear. So rather than clairvoyance or clairaudience, I choose to exercise clairsentience. And via that, I realized that this same person has basically been taking notes of the things that I say and distributing it. Not for personal profit. I don't think that they're making money off of it. Can't imagine what kind of a fucked up curse they would have if they were, but yeah, so anyways, I put this together. I'm not speaking directly or clearly on it because I'm not showing my hand, not tipping my cards, not broadcasting anything. I made a Facebook post and it's pretty fucking clear. There have been a few times in the past to some odd interactions with groups of people that I've had, not specific groups of people, I mean just like interacting in public with people, and I've observed groups of what might have otherwise been individuals, let's put it that way, groups of persons who have grouped together and act in certain ways. Particular individuals that have unfolded and responded to me in ways that the person themselves may not recall. It's kind of very similar to the interaction of an alternate reality gaming scenario. People's subconsciouses have information for you. It's not really an ethical way to play, so that's why I don't mess with that. But in my wanderings, I've of course brushed up against that realm or whatever, that plane of perception. So anyways, this person, for whatever reason, has followed my adventures, my actions. I don't know if their job is to chronicle. I don't know what it is. I know that there have been a few times, like I said, that I've had these interactions with some groups of people, that the behaviors they performed around me almost qualify as street theater. And at first I freaked out. There's a few times that I got a little upset and attacked. There were some other times that I realized that it was more of a monitoring interaction, and it seemed like maybe it was something from a higher level, so I didn't really fight with it at that point. But it has now become obvious that the current incarnation or iteration of the same effect is borrowing from my past. And like I said, I know this sounds out. You know, it's a pretty wild idea, and it's very subjective. Unfortunately, I can't be any clearer. They know who they are. They might even be watching this. Probably are. I don't know how to describe what I did the first time. I know the second time I just kind of let it go and then faded out until they didn't realize that I was no longer there and that they were guarding an empty cell, as it were. This is all metaphorical, allegorical. This is not literally a cell. I did not literally attack people in that sense. I don't know. There's some days that there are definitely people around me that I might think are my friends, that they actually are doing everything they can to impede my progress. Not rooting for me, just kind of keeping an eye on me, or whatever. I wouldn't even venture speculation on what it means, what it says about the person that they're monitoring or anything else. I mean, I know myself as well as I can. So this is what brings me to the idea of having a handler of some sort. Not because I'm under control, but because I am hard to control. So, yeah. Melvin is dead. The ghost of Melvin is dissolved. Anyone of any similar interaction, connection via what I have discerned today are now all linked to Melvin. So as Melvin is dead, the rest shall die too. Some slowly, some quickly. Families besieged by incurable diseases. Watch the ruination of loved ones from addiction, disease, bad luck happenstance. Maybe if I'm lucky, the actual individuals that I've spotted from back in the day that are currently active will have some really bizarre Donnie Darko circumstances. Jet engine falling out of nowhere, you know, or a piano squished by a bus. That'd be pretty appropriate. Like I said, I really don't appreciate the hijacking and co-opt of the context of my life. It's difficult enough as it is. then to find out that there are people who are taking things that you said and bringing them back around into your sphere in ways that you are not able to prove. This is like gaslighting on a new level. But I remember everything because I don't forget things. I remember an aura presence of a visit, someone astral projecting toward me, and the image I was given to see was something resembling an ancient old one. If it is, that it would be just about the last one that's left. The rest of them are toast. No amount of magic used against me from that party can have any significant effect. It can only pretty much irritate me at this point. Nothing more. But I promise, swear on the boxes of ash containing my parents, swear on my own spirit and soul, it ends. My life will continue as a normal life. I will live and be happy and be in control of my own decisions. And this constantly having to worry about if something creative or interesting that I say is going to be taken and brought back around in a couple of years, this will no longer occur. And hereby, any attempts whatsoever to continue that behavior will be met with divine retribution. As I said previously, the light of God cometh, that is, or El. This is the angel of manifestation. And this angel, as an entity, is a very close and good friend of mine. So now that I know who you are, I don't know what you're up to, and it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's supposedly for benefit of anyone, because I'm not being told of it. Just watching these things happen, it ends. And as I said, any further intrusion into my life will be met with severe divine retribution. This is the apocalypse, the great awakening, the end of everything that we had previously thought was the world, because most of it is a lie. And in this time, there are good people and bad people, servants of both sides. There are those of us who wield the burning sword of truth. And there are those who intend only to deceive others. There is great corruption and an end to that corruption with a paradigm shift that changes everything. There are 144,000-ish witnesses in the elect. There are also the 936. So, while you may take it as a dare, you may consider that this is an opportunity to attack anyway. Good luck. You're going to have to come to me personally to physically defeat me in person. Otherwise, everyone you care about will suffer because of you. Everything you care about will be torn from you for slighting me. Because while there are the elect to observe, there are those whose purpose is to judge. Not all people, not to go around judging folks, but when the signal arrives, the insight in the mind says, ka-ting, this is one of those moments. In that moment, the judgment is warranted. So today when I had a little ka-ting, while napping, the pieces were shown to me. I rearranged them. I saw what they showed. By the Tzadi Lamed vow, the 36 Tzadikim, it ends. Life will go on, and any attempt to co-opt any aspect of my life for the environment around me, or to present as whatever it is that the world does with it, to send it into the universe and it comes back. If it was not directly sent by me for my purpose, it will fail. If there are any further attempts to hijack the context, only pain and suffering will result.